There are areas that are common across almost every business where AI can save a significant amount of time. It doesn't matter if you're an agency, a software company, a law firm, or a manufacturing business. The work being done might be different, but the way your team spends their time doing the task are oftentimes very similar. So in this video, I'll be sharing the 3 ways where AI can save a significant amount of time irrespective of the business that you're running and how this can be applied to your business. The first area is building AI literacy across your existing team. The thing is, giving out access to ChatGPT and Claude to your team doesn't create value in itself. The value depends on how your team is using it in the day-to-day work. But what happens usually is a lot of these team members use it in a very generic way and get a very generic response. The problem isn't necessarily the tool, it's that the employee hasn't been shown how to give it the right context or how to refine the response, how to verify what it produces. And that's where AI literacy becomes important. AI literacy doesn't mean turning your employees into AI experts or teaching them how these models work. It simply means helping them understand what AI is good at, where it falls short, and how they can use it alongside them within their specific role. This could happen through internal workshops, YouTube videos, or even the team members sharing what they have found useful to the rest of the team. The goal is to help the team reach a point where they can look at a specific task and understand where AI can help them in that particular task. So think about it like this. Let's say an employee has a set of notes from a client meeting and wants to convert it into a project brief. So if they ask ChatGPT to convert it into a project brief, it's going to output that something very generic. Whereas if the employee provides relevant information, the company's project brief template and what they need to mention in the project brief, the output is going to be much better. And when you look at this across the entire business, the value starts adding up. One employee might save a few minutes preparing a document, someone else might save time summarizing a long email thread, another employee might use AI to reorganize information or understand a topic that's unfamiliar to them. Each individual time saving might not look significant on its own, but when the saving happens across various employees and various tasks, the ROI becomes much more impactful and measurable. And one of the clearest areas where employees can apply this is in research and preparation. A lot of valuable work in a business requires preparation before the employee can do the work that requires their expertise. A good example for this is preparation for a sales call. Before speaking to the prospect, they need to understand who the prospect is, what their company does, and what industry they are in. They should also come up with relevant questions they can ask to the prospect during the call. Normally, this means they have to go through their website, their LinkedIn, and previous interaction to come up with all of this information. But with AI, a lot of that information can be brought together into a structured briefing in a fraction of the time. At the end of the day, the salesperson is the one who is verifying the information and speaking to the prospect. AI is just reducing the preparation work that's surrounding it. And the same thing applies across various parts of the business. It could be a manager preparing for a client meeting, a marketing team researching competitors, an operation team comparing different vendors, or a leadership team trying to understand a new market. In each of these cases, someone has to go through a large amount of information before humans can apply their judgment. And that's really where AI can create value. It helps the person reach a point where their expertise is required much faster. Now, research usually happens around a specific task or decision, but there's another area where AI can be super beneficial. That is when certain information has to be processed repeatedly. There are a lot of tasks inside a business that humans can perform perfectly well, but the problems arise when these tasks need to be performed hundreds or even thousands of times. A simple example of this is customer support tickets. Every ticket that enters a business needs to be read, categorized, prioritized, summarized, and assigned to the correct person. None of those individual steps in itself is difficult, but when this needs to be done across hundreds of customers, that's when this starts becoming tedious and hectic. That's where AI can become really useful. AI can read the ticket, identify what the customer is asking about, categorize the issue, determine the level of urgency, summarize the important context, and route it to the right employee. The employee can then review the information and take the necessary steps required. The same thing applies across a lot of other processes. It could be extracting information from onboarding documents, categorizing customer feedback, processing invoices, summarizing call transcripts, or reviewing form submission. AI becomes especially valuable here because of its ability to process a large amount of information in a very short period of time. The core idea here is that AI isn't replacing the entire process, it's removing the tedious task that's revolving around a certain task. So these are the 3 areas where AI can save time in almost any business. The first is building AI literacy across your team so employees understand how to use these tools within their day-to-day work. The second is research and preparation, where AI helps employees gather and organize information before they apply their judgment. And the third is processing repetitive information, where AI handles predictable tasks that appear at a much higher volume. The thing I wanted to walk away with is that you need not start with a company-wide AI transformation to start seeing value. A lot of immediate ROI comes from understanding where your employees are losing time and where AI can reduce a lot of work that revolves around a specific task that they're doing. Because AI saving 5 minutes across your business once isn't a meaningful business use case. But when AI saves 5 minutes across a business process that happens repeatedly and across various employees, that's when the value becomes much more meaningful.